Nail clippers seem super simple, right? Until you have a pair of nail clippers where the part you push down keeps coming undone, or they cut your nail too short and you think that you had it lined up perfectly. So today I am testing and comparing two of the most popular nail clippers with the highest levels of reviews that I could find. So I got them both. These are the TWEEZERMAN, and this is a dual set, so you get fingernail clippers and toenail clippers. This is the EDJY, which is a whole unique new way to cut your nails. I kept seeing ads for this online and I was like, I gotta try those out. So today I'm gonna test these and compare them against each other. We'll find out which ones are the best. Here's a close-up look at the nail clippers we're going to review today. So here are the TWEEZERMAN, and these are like the traditional old school style nail clippers that I've been using my whole life. I will say that when I pick these up though, they feel like much better quality than the ones I'm used to. Uh, Sometimes when you get like a cheap nail set, you just know it. And when you cut your nails, it feels like it just doesn't do a very good job. Almost like it rips through the nail instead of like getting a clean clip. So here's a close-up look at those teeth. And I am going to show you myself using these on some of my fingernails. You'll see that my nails already are pretty short, so it's going to be tricky to find a spot to cut. I like to keep them pretty short most of the time, but I think we can cut a little bit off and then we'll see. Hopefully these are accurate enough that I'm not going to cut my skin. Now this is the EDJY one. I have never seen anything like this. I mean, this looks like a staple gun to me. And I'm going to show you how this works and the tips and tricks, the way to use this safely so you don't accidentally cut your nail too short or anything like that. And this one does come with a nice little carrying case. This whole thing slides inside of here to protect that blade. And there's the blade right there in here. See, that's where you put your nail. And let's test these out. But before we do that, I want to show you the close-up details of each one. The reason I bought two different types of fingernail clippers is because the ones I was using forever, I decided they're not good. There's got to be something better out there. So I looked online. I did actually quite a bit of research just for fingernail clippers to find what other people were saying. What is the best fingernail clipper that you can buy? Because it's important, you know, but I'm a magician, so people always see my hands up close. So I want them to look nice. And these are the two that came up time and again. TWEEZERMAN, this specific brand of regular old clippers, and the EDJY. I've never seen anybody use these before. I've never seen them at a store. I've only seen little ads online. And I thought, hey, I'll give them a shot. If they are better than this, then I'll be happy and I'll have these as a backup, or vice versa. So the first thing you're going to notice about the TWEEZERMAN is that these are made of stainless steel. So they're going to last a long time. They're not going to rust. The blade is going to remain sharp. You can see that that is a curved blade. It's like this. See how it's got a curve, kind of like the shape of your fingernail. However, the toenail clipper is not curved. See the fingernail curve? This is just flat. So if you're doing your toenails, you kind of got to go, you know, clip, 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 clip to make sure you're getting the right shape. Again, I'm not going to use this today. I'm not going to put you through the stress of watching me clip my toenails. We're just going to use my fingernails today. And besides, this one is only meant to be used on your fingernails. I did read in some of the reviews that people use these also on their toenails, but they do make a larger size of this specifically for your toenails. Now, of course, I'm assuming that these are going to have a very sharp blade, especially based on just the feel of this. Now, when you swivel this around, I know on some of these, this can become loose. In fact, the set that I had before, this piece kept coming out, and then I'd have to squeeze this down and try to reconfigure that, and then it would just pop out again. So the quality of this just feels fantastic. So we're going to find out how sharp they are when we do our test. And of course, you know, traditional nail clippers, they're easy to clean. You use them, you dust them off or rinse them off if you want to, and they're good to go. So very low maintenance. Now on to the EDJY. Now this thing is a whole new way to cut your nails, and they claim that it does a smoother cut across the nail, eliminating the need to actually have to file your nails after you cut. So the traditional kind, it can leave, you know, a little bit of like sharp edges. With this, it's supposed to be such a smooth, clean cut that your nails will be smooth after using, but I'll be the judge of that. This also comes in a whole bunch of different colors, and it comes with this little carrying case to keep everything nice and neat. And the way it works is you just pull this out, This also includes a safety guard, and the safety guard is this little plastic piece right here. So what you do is you set your nail on top of that safety guard, and then you're going to look at where the blade is going to come down, and then you snip. Now, one big difference between the two is this. When you cut your nails with one of these, as you probably know, sometimes you clip it and that nail just goes flying across the room, only to be found 3 years later when you're doing a deep cleaning of your bathroom. I don't like that. This one, as it cuts your nails, and from what I've read, 95% of the time, when you cut the nail, it goes into this little tray right here. So when you're done cutting your nails, you simply dump this into the trash and you have no nails flying across the room. We'll see if that's true. I do like the way this feels. It's very comfortable in your hand. Now, it's the reverse of what most people are used to. And I actually read some reviews where people said they don't work. And I think that's because they were trying to use it where you push on this end and it cuts on this end. If you push on this end, nothing happens here. This is the opposite. So you're going to push on the same end that cuts your nails. So let's get a really close-up shot and I'll show you using both of these on my fingernails, which are already short. So we'll have to hunt down for some extra growth somewhere. So that you are able to hear the sound, I have a little microphone right here. I'm going to put this right next to where I'm cutting my nails. That way you can hear if there's a difference. I don't know if there will be in the sound of the clip. Let's start with the TWEEZERMAN, and I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it on this thumbnail because I'm more comfortable using these, and it's easier for me to do this way, so we'll use that on this one. So here we go. There's a little bit of white on that thumbnail, not much, but let's see what happens. Okay, that does a good job. Very good cut. Here we go. It is easy to see where you're cutting with these, I think. That nail went flying across the room. That's the part I don't like. And just a little bit more. And there we go. There's the nails. I have to go collect them now. And then you can see this is not completely smooth. Ideally, I would need to file this down so that it doesn't, I mean, when I feel that, it's a little bit rough, and I do not like that. I'm hoping this will eliminate that problem. Now for the edgy. So the way this works, I'm going to put my nail on the blocker here. Now, by the way, you don't want to use where it's rounded here on the edges. That part, like if you put your nail here, that's not sharp. It has to be on this little lip that sticks out here. So you put your nail on that lip. You see where that blade's going to touch your nail, and you squeeze. So let's listen. Okay, that's a totally different sound. And okay, there we go. The nail did end up in that little drawer. Sorry, you have to see my nail clippings. Kind of gross. And let's finish this nail, and then we'll check the smoothness of it. Let's see here. Ooh, I should have waited till my nails were longer because I do not have a lot to lose here. Wow, that cut off a tiny sliver. Okay. Wow. And that's the difference in the nails. All right, so we've done both nails. This thumbnail is with the TWEEZERMAN. That's the toenail cutter. I didn't use that, but you know what I mean. And this is the EDJY Fingernail Cutter. So I'm going to try to show you a super close-up look. I've got a magnifying glass with a light, and I'm going to try to show you, if I can, how this looks. There we go. So there's the edge of the one I use, the TWEEZERMAN. And I will say when I feel that, it feels a little bit more rough. Like I definitely right now want to file this down so that it's not rough. And now let's look at the nail from the EDJY. This is hard to line this up. There we go. And that is the EDJY. And you can see it did a great job. And the EDJY, I will say, feels more smooth than the TWEEZERMAN. Both of them are easy to use. I had no problem holding them. Both of them make it really easy to see where you're cutting so you don't accidentally cut too much. If I was just going to use one though, I think I'd probably choose the edgy because it just the way it feels, and it saves me a whole step of having to file my nails so that they don't feel rough, you know, against material and things like that. So which would I choose? Well, if you want the complete set, the TWEEZERMAN does come with the toenail clippers and the fingernail clippers. So that's a bonus. With this, you would have to buy the toenail clippers separate. I am going to try to use these on my toenails at some point, not yet because they're not long right now. I don't want to accidentally go too short on a toenail. That's painful. If you'd like to have two, like one in your travel bag and one in your, home bathroom, then this set gives you two. This only gives you one. And if you like the classic design and you're just used to it, then I would go with the TWEEZERMAN. But if you want the most modern version of nail cutting, I think the edgy is really cool. Plus, if you're nervous about accidentally cutting your nails too short, that safety stop feature is really handy because like right now, I can't push my thumb any further in, so I can't even cut this nail shorter. As long as you're using that little stopper and you just push your thumb up against it, I think it's pretty good that you can't accidentally go too far. So that's a big bonus for this. And if you just want something that looks cool and you don't want to have to worry about filing your nails, I would choose the edgy. Regardless of which one you choose, I think they're both great and I definitely recommend both. If you'd like to pick up either one of these, I have links in the description below. Please click like on this video and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.